Hey y'all, Randall-T here. I had a problem and I decided to solve it. And I thought I would share with you that solution and even share the solution with you if you're interested. So here's the problem is I've been working on a lot of music for the past year, and there is data that we have to collect about each song that we work on. Lots of data like length and tempo and key and the feelings of the song and the instruments of the song and what the song sounds like and who are the songwriters and what are the splits for the songwriters, who are the publishers and what are the splits for the publishers, and did we sign documentation about the one-stop agreement and the split agreement, and do we have these songs out for pitching with different agencies? Who are those agencies? Who are the contacts at those agencies? The information just goes on and on. And this is for just each song, and it's different for each song. So I decided that I'd look for some products, and I did, and I just didn't find anything that was flexible like I wanted it to be. So and when I say flexible, I mean I can add my own data point. I can add how that data point is outputted um, uh, to copy into other documents, all those kinds of things, and we'll explore all those kinds of things today. But I really wanted a solution that was flexible, affordable, and possibly even that I could share with others and help them be successful with this as well, because I know it's a problem that all of us probably are struggling with. So let's jump right into what this is about. First of all, um, the way we'll do this is that you'll just contact me through email or through Messenger, Facebook Messenger, and just let me know that you're interested in using the solution. I built the solution on a product called airtable.com. It's a cloud solution, so all the data is sitting up in the cloud, so there's no need to worry about backing anything up. There's no need to worry about a computer not getting fried and losing all your data. All that stuff is all safe. The nice thing about cloud applications as well is that you can access them from any computer at any time, including that Airtable.com has an app for their platform. So you can load that app onto, say, your iPad, and you open it up, and there's all your data about all your songs. So very, very powerful, super flexible, and guess what? The platform itself is free. So if you wanted to have more features, of course, that's where they start charging you on a monthly subscription basis. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, but you can do exactly what I'm going to show you today with the free version for as long as you like. And I'm very, very impressed with the product. So let's look at what it's actually doing. This is the product. Now I've blurred out a lot of stuff, and I apologize for that. It makes things a little harder to follow along, but I felt like the right thing to do, because there's a lot of information here that I don't think I might have somebody say they didn't want to have shown on a video. So blurred, sorry. Meanwhile, you should be able to see some of the main stuff up in here, and we'll take a look at that. One of the first things you'll notice that this is an app that's in the browser. So little things like being able to zoom in and out of the site. So if I click on the site, actually, if I zoom in and out, I can make things smaller, bigger, however I want to go. And that's nice for those of us who need eye help. And so that's one first thing. And again, it's available on application on your mobile devices as well. So what this Airtable platform does is allows me to create a bunch of tables that we can link together and be able to make into a very powerful tool to manage our situation here. So what I did is I built a bunch of tables. So like one of the tables I built was an artist table. So these are all the singers I work with. I built a contributors table, and I call it contributors instead of songwriters because I also have in there players who are musicians, things like that. So they might have contributed to the song in other ways. I have a publishers column or database, or database table, excuse me. And the table basically has all the information about the publishers, whether it's their IPIs or their emails or their phone numbers. All that stuff is sitting in there. I also have a table that helps me with splits. So anytime you have a weird split, like, if it's a 25, 25, 25, 25, you can build those up real easily. I give it a label of 25, 25, 25, 25. And, but you might also have one, like I had one group that was a team that we wrote with. We were fine with a 33, 33, 34 split for a three-way. We had another team that got a little more into the decimal points. And so we built a split for that as well. These get used later on. I'll show you how that kind of works, but it's all data that we need to know about. And so that we have that, and then we have another one for agencies. So I have some agencies listed here, and I can use those in different ways. I have a list of genres, and I've collected those from different places. You know, constantly, adding to those and making more. I have a list of feelings because I struggle with feelings. I know. So it's nice to have a list in front of me where I can go, oh, it's a song about confidence, so I'll use confident. And then I can use, and it stays consistent, and my data is easier to sort on and find things. It's like, show me all the songs about confident and confidence or confident. And that works out great. I have a list of instruments that I'm using so far and things I want to note in the stuff. But all that information basically has to do with what we call metadata. And the metadata is embedded into the songs that you pitch out to agencies and whatnot. And they use that information to help them find the songs, to know about the songs. They have a song that they pulled from somewhere. They go back to it 3 months later. They can open it up. They can look at the metadata, and all that information you've collected to tell them about the song is still sitting there. And so that's really handy. Then you take all those different tables, and I built one master table I call the music tracks table. And so that table basically has the song name plus all that information I just told you about. So I know the artist, and that artist label comes from the artist table. So when I go to add a new artist to it, it actually will go and look up artists from that artist. If there's not one there, I can go ahead and type the name here. And if it doesn't find it, it will say, oh, do you want to add a new one? I'll say, yeah, I just want to add a new one. So you can just add a new one right here. So you don't have to keep jumping around tables. Everything can be done from one place. Another thing to note is that you can actually click on the record itself. You just hit the space bar and it opens up a editing form that shows you everything that's about that song. So you go down and you can see all the stuff that's there, and add and enter and update, modify however you want down that form. And that's another nice way of entering in the data. So we do all that, and we have all our data now ready to do stuff with. And some of the things we can do with it are pretty cool. So I wanted to call out a couple of lanes. I call these the RTP lanes. These are actually, I put them in as something different in the template, so it's not RANDALL-T Productions. But so this lane is basically, I have lanes of how I categorize the songs, and I have goals for those lanes. So I want to know about which songs are fulfilling those goals. Over here, I also have a status lane down here. So like some of the statuses might be pitch ready, or that the song's been placed, or it's new ideas, top lining. But what's cool about that is because those are there, I can use other views. So over here, there's a button I can click on and off. It's called a views panel. And again, I apologize for you not being able to read it, but basically you can add different kinds of views. This view that we're looking at right now is called a grid view. So it's basically a spreadsheet view. They also have a Kanban view, which is a card view. And then they have a gallery view, a calendar view, all sorts of different views that are available to you to build off of. A calendar view, for example, could be used if you had a bunch of things that you say, oh, I'm going to work on this day, and this on another day, and this on another day. You could actually use a calendar view to show you a calendar of the things you're going to be working on which days if you want to do that. So that's kind of cool. But the Kanban, or the card view, is one I use a lot. I used to use Trello for this, and now I'm just using this same tool for what I used to do in Trello, which was I have all my categories of workflow. So I have a new ideas column. So I have a few things here sitting in the new ideas area. I have some pre-production work here. So I'm working on a brand new song here. I have a top lining, which means I've sent the song to somebody for them to work on. And that's just basically a holding lane, right? So it's just sitting there waiting for me to get stuff back from them. Then when I get it back from them, I have a post-prod rework. But here's what's really cool about that. It's just like Trello. It does the same thing here. It's like I can click on the card and I can move it to the different areas. So once I'm done writing some music, I can move it to top lining because I send it off to one of my awesome singers and they can do some work on it. And when they're done singing it, I get it back from them and I move it over to post-production, or maybe I need to rework it or whatever. And I move it into that column. So I know what I need to work on. And then I move it over into mix and mastering. And hopefully, if everything goes well, I move it over into pitch ready, which means the song's done and it's ready to, to make it out to the catalogs. And as I choose, but the thing that's cool about this, as I move it, it's actually changing the value in the table. It changes it from the status being prod to status equal top lining, and it automatically does that. It's the same thing as Trello, except you don't see the table in Trello. So that's one of my things. Another one is my lanes. So again, I was talking a little bit about, I'm going to collapse this down. I was talking a little bit about how I have some goals. So I wanted to write so many songs in my upbeat column and so many songs in my down tempo, middle of the road column, ballad column, Christmas column, or lanes. I call these all lanes actually. Instrument orchestration, instrument rock, lots of things I've got going. And basically this allows me to kind of see that I'm reaching my goals, getting things done, fleshing out my personal catalog of work as a producer. And so that's nice to have. If I were a singer, top liner person, I could have a similar kind of thing just to show what kind of work I'm working on. I might say, oh, I have only 2 songs in this one category. I maybe need to go get some more of those to have a better listing of songs to represent. There's also the gallery view. So basically, it's just a bunch. It just shows all the songs at once, and you can decide what's shown. So right now, hard for you to see, but I have a title and I have the artist right underneath it. I can come up and I can say customize cards, and I can click on that and I can decide any of the pieces of data that are sitting in the database. I can check and turn those on and off. So I can turn those off or I can turn them back on. I can put the length in. It's just whatever you want to do. The category, all sorts of stuff. So, and of course you have all the filtering you can imagine. So you can filter by several different ways and build very complex filterings. You can also do the same with sorting. You can sort it and do very complex sortings. And then once you have the kind of thing you do, you can save it as a different view. And so you can have one kind of sorting for one view and one kind of sorting for another view. And then you just click between the two and it remembers everything you did. So very, very slick. But the next piece is really where it gets powerful. And this is where I felt like I had to do something on my own to figure out a solution. Once you have all this data, and so let's suppose we have this one with all this data here, and it's long. This is all metadata. Well, most of it's metadata. And I want to be able to basically create, there's even the lyrics. You can't read them, but they're right there too. So this is all the metadata, and I want to put this metadata into where I present my songs, which for me happens to be disco. So in disco, there's a metadata with an information area where you put all your metadata. And what I wanted to be able to do was take this data and just say, okay, so I want to go do this particular song I have highlighted right now. It's called Don't You Want to Feel. So if I go to my apps button, it's going to open up what they call the page designer. And I can come in here. And I'm going to type in the word wanna, because that was part of the title. And sure enough, it found the song. I click on it. And all of a sudden, you can't read it really, but all of the metadata that I have entered in is now formatted exactly the same way every single time. Exactly the way I want it to be. And all I have to do is click and drag and copy that, do a copy and paste right into Disco, and I'm done. And once I get into Disco, I might get rid of a little bit of the extra white space, but that's easy compared to typing all the stuff in and trying to figure out how that all goes. Another thing I'm using the page designer app for is I'm going to be doing a one-stop agreement page. So same kind of thing. It'll come up and you'll come in and say, well, I want to see the one-stop information for wanna. Oops. And it's going to pull up a bunch of information. It's not done right now, but it will be. And when it is done, I'll just add it to the template so you'll have access to it again. And I can help you make sure you get that piece into your new database that you put together for yourself. And that'll be easy. But I'll probably do all that hard work. But editing this stuff is also pretty easy. So if we're looking at the metadata one, there's a little pencil right here. Of course, you can't see it, but there's a little pencil there, and you come in and you click on the text here, and basically over on this right side here, you can open up this little editing window and you can go through and you can change anything you want. So let's suppose for some reason I didn't want it to say one-stop clearance over here. I wanted it to say something different. Let's say I wanted to have a pluses after the whatever. So I do that and I hit pluses and you'll see, bam, there it is. It's showing up over here. And that's how you get like hard text in there. And also like right after it is all the data about that the people who are part of that one-stop agreement. So it's pulling out information and you can change it to be however you want. Super flexible. This is probably the tricky, harder part for me to figure out when I did it. I want to put that, actually I want to put that back. So it's not doing that anymore. But once I got it figured out, it was not that bad. And again, I do all that kind of hard work for you right from the beginning anyway. So, there's that way. If you were to say to me, Randy, I don't like this format, or maybe you would do a lot of work with a certain agency and they like their metadata, a certain way, you could do a format just for them. And, that would not be hard at all. So, those possibilities are there. One of the things I noticed also while I was prepping for this was, any of these, there's a little icon here that says print. So when I get done with the one-stop split agreement, if I do it well, I should be able to just hit print and save as a PDF, and that'll create the PDF, which I can then upload into a digital signing tool. And it'll be pretty easy to get that off to people to have them sign through electronic document signing. So that'll be nice. And again, you don't have to go and type in the names to some kind of template. It's all there, just pops out of the system that way. So I think that's super powerful, and that's one of the big reasons why I really liked this platform of Airtable. That seemed to be one of the ones that was most suited for that. So again, I think I mentioned it earlier. Let me help you get signed up on Airtable. I get a little bit of credit for that, and it is free. And the solution here, I'm providing you templates for and everything like that. I'm considering it donationware. So if you feel you need some extra help or it is of value to you and you go, guy, that feels like this is worth this much to me, and you want to send me some money for that, that'd be awesome. If you don't want to send me money and you want it to be zero, that's okay too. Again, I'm a believer in my success is your success and your success is my success. So I would rather have you use it for free than not use it at all. If you ask me for some help on it and you don't pass along a little bit of compensation for my time, I'll certainly will help you. But I would prefer to get a little something for helping. But that's up to you. But I'm hoping that this tool is actually easy enough that you can learn it yourself and be able to make it in your own and make it great, and go from there. So that is my RANDALL-T Productions SyncTracker. And I hope that you can find it as useful as I am finding it. And I will continue to make it even better, I think. And I think it's going to help us all go out and make some magic. So let's do that. Thanks.